Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
Greetings, family, and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Thank you for joining me for another video. It is with a heavy heart that I come onto my channel today to report that yet another Black from the diaspora has been killed in the Gambia. Now, I truthfully was not planning to make a video today. Here I am, bopping along, getting through the last day of my October Healthy Eating Challenge. And I just happened to click on YouTube to see what's going on today. And I start seeing reports that a Black male from the UK has been killed in the Gambia by a Gambian. Okay? Now, I'm imagining that we all recall the news stories on YouTube and elsewhere about 7 or 8 months ago, where 5 Black women, some from America and some from the UK, passed away in the Gambia under suspicious circumstances. And there was speculation that poisoning or marabu, the Gambian version of voodoo, may have been involved. Some people said, oh no, some of them were sick, whatever. But that's a large number of people to pass away. Then we had a Black British female get killed by a Sierra Leonean national in the Gambia. Then another Black male from the UK passed away in the Gambia, and it was suspected that that may have been due to illness or natural causes. But now we have another murder of a Black from the diaspora in the Gambia. This gentleman's name was Leonard Dominique, and apparently he had gone over to the Gambia and was engaged in business and got killed by his own driver. And he was speaking to his daughter on the phone at the time the murder happened. And apparently, or let's say allegedly, he was stabbed, his body was dumped, and then the murderer took his truck with the intention, with some cohorts, some accomplices too, to be specific, with the intention of selling the truck or selling the parts from the truck, and then illegally making his way over to Europe to be an illegal immigrant over in the UK. And I'm just astonished and I'm appalled. And I question whether or not we Blacks from the diaspora at this particular point in time should actually be talking about relocating to the Gambia. Before I get into my viewpoints, let me just throw up a couple clips. Here's a clip from Instagram, What's on Gambia. Okay, and they explain all of the details that I just shared. Here's another clip from a newspaper article talking about the arrest of 2 of the suspects and the fact that one, called Denny Boy, is still at large and has not been apprehended. And I really question the feasibility, the wisdom in Blacks from the diaspora moving to the Gambia at this point. Now, as some of you may know, I don't necessarily claim the whole African American thing anymore. I can trace my ancestry here back for several generations. I'm an American. I consider myself a descendant of the copper color natives. So when people are telling me that they're moving to Africa or moving or repatriating to Africa unless they can identify an actual African ancestor. I mean, I just consider that they're moving to Africa the same way Americans are moving to Central and South America and Europe and other places. But hey, everybody's entitled to do what they want. And I also have to say that the Gambia has not really been so much on my radar these days. I still have some connections over in the Gambia. I recently talked to a dear friend who is in the Gambia now. I saw a video just yesterday of a sister who is planning to move to the Gambia and spoke about that journey. But Gambia is not in the forefront of my mind the way it was when I was traveling there all the time. I had a blast in Gambia. I met wonderful people in Gambia, but there were some issues with Gambians versus Blacks from the diaspora. There were some issues in terms of the way they feel about us. For example, Chinese, Indian, Caucasian people can go there and start a business and the Black Gambians will support them. But if we start one, there's an issue. Those same people, Arabs, other just non-Blacks can go over there and buy property and build homes. Gambian natives don't seem to have an issue with that. But when we, Blacks from America and or the UK and or the Caribbean, come over there and do the same, there's all kind of issues and accusations and maybe jealousy and claims that we're stealing land that they can't afford to buy, but that belong to their ancestor and really should rightfully belong to them. So there are some concerns. There's even now, I haven't been there in a few years, but there's a brother who has a channel. I'm going to just show the picture of his channel. This is him. And I watched his video, and he said that nowadays, we from the diaspora really stand out in the Gambia because most Gambians are wearing slides, sandals that you just stick your foot in. And even if we're wearing closed-toe shoes, we stand out. I know over there was a thing where they would try to steal our cell phones, which is a particular issue if you're a YouTuber like I was when I was there, and you're trying to film things, you're at the market, and they're like, hold on tight to your phone. Don't let anyone get your phone. And there were some thefts. And I don't know. I mean, I think that the Gambia is a very small country. It's a beautiful country. There is, it's not really overbuilt, even though I hear that Bill Gates is now building a hospital in that country, but it's not overbuilt. It's very undeveloped, I would say. And there is a charm in that. Not all the built up technology and monitoring and everything that goes on in the Western world. But that country is way too small, in my humble opinion, for 8 or more diasporans from America and the UK to pass away or be killed there in less than a year. It's a problem, or in about a year, maybe a little more, 12 to 14 months or so. It's a problem. And it raises questions in my mind as to whether we really at this point in time should consider going there. Now, the brother I just showed who said we stand out if we're wearing actual shoes is now suggesting that people from America come over there and bring their firearms based on his understanding that we can get them registered and carry them there. I don't know if that's a good idea. Back when I was in the Gambia, it was a place where you were not allowed to have anybody, any citizens or visitors were not allowed to have firearms, even though in connection with that murder of the British female, it was found that the Sierra Leonean National, I believe, did have a firearm. Actually, they found it and the police showed it in a video where they picked up and showed all the various pieces of evidence that they had gathered in the case. But I'm just concerned. I mean, my heart is heavy that yet another Black brother from the West has been killed. I am astonished and flabbergasted and everything else that it has happened yet again. And I am concerned for those Blacks in the Caribbean, America, and the UK who still have a plan to move over to the Gambia. Would I say they should not do so? No. But if I'm concerned, I don't think at this time that we can assure their safety. And I know that too many of us have died under mysterious circumstances or been killed over there to feel safe about it. I have a really dear friend from the West that's in the Gambia right now. I spoke to him last week, and I think he gets along well with the locals and will be fine, but it wouldn't be truthful. I wouldn't be truthful if I didn't admit that I now have a bit of concern. Because if we have the resources to go over there, we're not broke. Impoverished people, people living on assistance from the government are not able to gather up their resources and fly all the way over to the continent of Africa and have a vacation or buy land or anything else. So if we're able to go over there, by definition, we have some level of resources. And then we get there with our resources and we stand out and they're telling me that we're now a target. It's a problem. It's a problem. And I am not one to over exaggerate or to be overly emotional or anything of that nature. But the number of diasporans who are losing their lives in that country is a problem. I'm going to see what happens. I mean, I feel like now I need to put the Gambia back on my radar and kind of at least check in from time to time to see what's going on over there. But in my humble opinion, it's a problem. And what I will say is to all my fellow Black Americans and Black British citizens and Blacks from the Caribbean who are in the Gambia, who desire to visit or move to the Gambia, be careful. Be careful. This brother, Leonard Dominique, was killed by his own driver, his own employee, somebody that he was paying to provide him with that service. So these are not strangers we're talking about, at least not in this instance. Some of those other mysterious deaths involve people who were known to the decedent. So these are not, and even if they were just random people, it's still a problem. I don't know that it's safe for us to go there. I don't know that we need to be bringing any guns and firearms over there, but I'm concerned. I just felt the need to put out this video. You know, we follow different people. So how I heard about it, others may not have heard. And I want my people, that being Blacks from the diaspora, to be aware of what is going on in that very small country. It's a lot of deaths for such a small country in such a short period of time. A year, 12, 14 months, that's not a long time for a very small country to be having this number of deaths of people who are moving there from the West. Whew. So be careful. My condolences to the family and friends, the loved ones of Leonard Dominique. My prayers go out to his daughter who was on the phone with him when this happened. If that is true, that is so tragic and traumatic. I can't imagine the length of the process she will have to go through to heal from that tragedy. And my advice to be cautious, to check your surroundings, to join together, to I don't even know what to say, about hiring Gambians, about how to deal with them, because there was initially suspicion with the Black British female that it was her employee. And even though it turned out to be a Sierra Leonean national, I was never clear, was he employed by her or how did he figure out, because he came to property that she was building in the Gambia, and that's where she was killed. So I don't know. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign for those of us who are interested in going to that country. Please be safe. I'm going to end the video. I don't have any new information to share. It seems from the article and the Instagram post I shared that a lot of the information has already been determined. So I'm not expecting any big investigation. But if new information comes to light, I definitely will share it. I'm just concerned, family. Be careful. Be careful of the Gambia. And, keep in mind that there are other countries that you can go to. Africa is a huge continent with more than 50 countries. There are other countries to explore. South and Central America is very popular for Blacks from America. Mexico, there are a ton of Black Americans over in Mexico loving it, as far as I'm aware. So explore, and you can also go to Europe. Some towns are even paying people to come there. Asia, I mean, explore your options. You are not limited to the continent of Africa, even if you believe your ancestors came from there. That's somebody at my front door. I've got to go. I'll be back if I have any more updates, and I'll be back tomorrow with an update on my healthy eating challenge. Be safe, family. Until next time, peace and love and light.
Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.